I meant for Cheltenham, just spill your boots to get the Christmas money early.
Hello and welcome to GG Weekend Watch with myself, Kate Tracey, alongside Andrew Mounts and Dave Young to look forward to a plethora of races from Cheltenham and Doncaster. Now, you might have noticed my background is very different. Less glamorous this way around. However, if I turn the camera this way around, that is my other background. I am at Villa Park. I got delayed with some filming earlier on, so very lucky that the guys have allowed me to basically go into the broom cupboard here and to film GG at Weekend Watch, because I can't be leaving the lads to their own devices. Now, in terms of the results last week, the ITV televised schedules weren't exactly our friends, but all of us sided with John Bond. We weren't tempted to take him on in the Clarence House chase. That paid dividends as a result. But in terms of the anything from anywhere else bets, we got Prairie Wolf for Andrew, who won at 11-1, who he suggested. And also James's Gate for Dave, also won then at Navan. So lads, very well done for that. And we've got a multitude of races to go at this weekend. Right, we're going to begin at Cheltenham with the 150 in the Grade 2 Triumph Trial Juvenile Hurdle for the 4-year-olds over 2 Mile 1. Andrew, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, good race, and the Triumph Hurdle pitch is a lot more interesting now after last week's action at Ascot, where Lamba came out and won on debut for Nicky Henderson, cementing his position at the top of the market for that race. And of course, the Gary Moore runner-up in that race, a €500,000 purchase, ran really well despite pulling hard in the early stages. So the Triumph Hurdle pitch looks a lot more interesting than it did a week ago. East India Docks, 2 from 2 over hurdles for James Owen. All these speed figure monkeys are sort of chattering from the trees about the time figures this one put up its first couple of starts, and think it will give Lalamba a race. So his odds on here. But the trouble is, you've got a couple of unknowns. You've got Sauvignon, first run for Paul Nicholls, having won 2 of his 3 starts in France. You've got Stencil for Noel George and Amanda Zetterholm, although being a Noel George horse running over here at McManus cars, it will probably drift like a barge and run like stink and pull like a train in the early stages, like most of them seem to. Quantock Hill's dead heat with Terra Firma last time out here. I thought Terra Firma might go well at an each way pricing, but there's so many sort of imponderables here. You've got one that's running on debut for Ben Pauling, that's Mambo number 5. But on what we know and what we've seen them do over hurdles in this country so far, it's East India Dock for me. So hopefully he can run a big race, win easily, and make that Triumph Hurdle market look even more exciting.
Yeah, it's going the right way, isn't it? For sure, the Triumph Hurdle market. But he's now 2 from 2 over hurdles, bidding to make it 3 from 3, a 10-11 shot heading the way. But plenty of intrigue nonetheless, Dave. So what took your eye?
Yeah, similar train of thought as Andrew, so I won't need to take too long on this one. Although obviously with last week's results, I'm semi-tempted just to disagree with Andrew, so we've got twice as many darts in every race. We can always do it that way. But East India Dock, like his jumping, everything was just so good last time out. That forced his way to the head of the Triumph market, didn't it? And as Andrew's talked about, the Lambas overtaking him there. For me, this horse isn't going to be as good as Lalamba, but there's no reason why you would expect this horse not to be going 100% to continue his unbeaten record over hurdles, to pick up a Grade 2, a nice bit of prize money, and to throw his hat in the ring for a Triumph Hurdle, whatever price he'll end up being for that. A few of the other ones in behind, you might wonder if this is a bit of a trial run for potentially a tilt of the Boodles. Sauvignon for Paul Nicholls dodged Lalamba last week, and the Gary Moore horse could have gone right-handed at Ascot, decided not to do that. Has jumped right at his hurdles in France and a bit scruffy over a few of them. So I'd be very concerned if he's able to live up to, well, I'd be concerned about him being able to live up to what his promise is. And of course, with a Paul Nicholls horse, it's probably a Gold Cup horse for the future, so they won't be trying too hard. Stencil, you have to really forgive the last run in France in a Grade 3, where the horse that won that race, he slammed the time before. So they've had a bit of a gap since then. He could be quite useful, but then also it's convenient that, you know, if you've had one bad run in those types of contests, you might as well have another one, get a handy mark, and then go off with it. So yeah, long way of me saying I wasn't going to say much about the race. East India Dock will win this race 4-5. Well, he'll win this race in my opinion anyway.
There you go.
Nice save.
Nice save. Dave saved that then. Yeah, in his opinion, will win East India Dock at 10-11. He looks a really exciting type, doesn't he? So hopefully we get even more intrigue ahead of the Triumph Hurdle itself. Right, we're going to switch up north to Doncaster for the 130. 0 to 150 handicap chase, 5-year-olds and over 2 miles. And the old boy, Nell's son, the 10-year-old, bidding for this hat-trick. He's been in great form of late. 3 to 1, heading the market here, Dave.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was so many races for this week. This is one that had to fall by the wayside, so haven't had a time to go through it. General Madano, before even Final Declaration, was the one that jumped out because he had that good win at Newbury, faltered as favourite after. So he was half interesting, but yeah, I haven't done the work on the race, so no bet, no interest from me so far.
No problem. We like the honesty all the same. Like I say, we've got so many races to go at this weekend. From famine to feast, it is this weekend, Andrew. So did you have a stronger opinion?
I've got an opinion, not particularly strong one, not as strong as the wind, which could be blowing into their faces in the Strait of Doncaster, gusting up to 52 miles an hour at midday and early afternoon on Saturday. We've got potentially 7 mil of rain as well. And it's good to soft, good in places on the chase course, soft in places on the hurdles course. So check the weather situation. I mean, Nell's son, of course, heads to market on a hat-trick, like you say, but I think he's something like £14 higher than when only fourth in this race last year. Which would be a bit of a worry. And because runner-up in that race was Calico, who runs off the same mark of 142. He's only had one other run here at Doncaster, and he won that. So Dan Skelton's Calico, I thought, had a chance here. And another interesting one as well, the outside of the entire field, Herbier, for the Greenall and Guerrero yard. I've always had this one down as a horse who needs his first couple of runs each season. He actually won first time out in 2022-23, after which his trainer said they were surprised it was just a prep run over hurdles before going over fences, and he's a stuffy sort and normally needs a run, so it took them by surprise that day. And if you go for you go for his form over the year, you back him on his third or subsequent start each season, you make a good profit. Now this season he's not shown much at all, but his first run came after a break of 576 days. He pulled up in a hurdle race at Wetherby, then he went back over hurdles, very weak in the betting, and didn't show much. Not just because of the fog. It was finished last of 5, being 60-odd lengths. There's a possibility that he will show a lot more. He likes Doncaster, so Herbier could go well. But I think Calico, given the balance of his course form, is the one I'm going to pin my colours to.
11 to 2 shot Calico, but gave a good mention to Herbier, the outsider of the field, at 20 to 1, also with that course success to his name as well. Right, back to Cheltenham for the 150, a Premier handicap chase. Another one of these 2.5 mile Premier handicap chases around Cheltenham. 5-year-olds and over in this one, and a Rocco it is, who is the 100 to 30 favourite. Ginny's Destiny next in at 4 to 1 and 6 to 1 bar about the remainder. So Andrew, got another one of these to go at.
Yeah, and again, weather warning, it's good to soft in places, but there's up to half an inch of rain forecast, so it could go a lot softer. Because I went through this race assuming it's going to be soft, thinking, God, crikey, most of these need good ground, we can take them on. But of course, we know what Cheltenham's like. It seems to have its own ecosystem, and it can avoid the rain, even though it's chucking down a mile away. So do keep an eye on that as well. Didn't like a Rocco if it turns soft, and he's probably best right-handed in small fields on easier tracks. So I didn't like Sol Icon for that reason. A Rocco, his favourite based on the fact that he fell last time out in the field of 4, so he's now running in a field of 11 and a handicap. First time he's gone handicap chasing. He's a hold-up performer on a track where it generally pays to be up with the pace. So, could he hit the deck again? Could he meet trouble? Will he be too far back? There's a lot of doubts that don't want me to take odds around about 7 to 2 about him. Ginny's Destiny has been well supported to bounce back, and we know that he loves this track. I think it's two wins in the second and 3 runs on the new course. Imperial Saint I had down as a horse who needs a flatter track. Gemeronde needs to bounce back for that poor effort last time out. Il Rodotto's won this race before, but ran a bit of a sinker last time. Ground stayed decent. I'll give Torn and Frayed a chance. Quentin Davis has got his string in fantastic form at the moment. And this runs some respectable races and similar contests over course and distance. And probably could be one to be in the with the extra places in the first 4. So I'll go Torn and Frayed and each way to very small stakes in the hope that the rain stays away. But I'm not particularly confident.
Yeah, it's got its own microclimate, hasn't it, though, Cheltenham? And 25-1 about Frayed, the old boy of 11 years old now, but another course and distance winner that Andrew is siding with on the day. We saw in the background there, we've been joined by a very special guest. Alan McAnally is now joined to partake in this preview. All the same, he will have some opinions.
Well, John Bond, Constitution Hill.
He's a week late.
Yeah.
No, not a week late.
I
Constitution Hill.
meant for Cheltenham. Just fill your boots, get the Christmas money early.
Alan's with a 1-4 shot this weekend then with Constitution Hill. Looking forward to that ahead of the festival. Alan, I will get more opinions from him then throughout this. But a 25-1 shot for Andrew with Frayed, Dave. Who did you like?
Yeah, it is another course and distance winner for me. Ginny's Destiny won at this meeting last year in the novices version of this race. Of course, the 2.5 mile handicap we've got here. There's a novices chase version of it at the beginning. Imperial State is the novice that's decided to come into open company this time round. But the key thing with Ginny's Destiny is he needs a run at the start of the season. How he still got sent off as 3-1 favourite for a Paddy Power Gold Cup when everyone should already know that about him is beyond me. But it does speak volumes about what they think this horse is capable of. He ran at Huntingdon after, which was a bit of a bizarre move because he doesn't like going right-handed. He was held up in that race as well. Clearly, for me, that was just a day at the races to get another run into him for a target down the line. Andrew's touched about Il Rodotto that's won this race in the past. He's won this race in the past, Paul Nicholls with Frayed as well. I think this is sort of an afterthought in terms of the fact that they wanted to get a prep running for that Paddy Power Gold Cup. It didn't happen. The ground was maybe too quick. It is good ground at Cheltenham at the moment, but there is a bit of rain forecast, so I'm not particularly worried about the ground for Ginny's Destiny. I think the depth of this race is obviously easier than a Paddy Power Gold Cup. 4-1 is available at the time of recording, and horses like Aroko that Andrew's talked about in smaller fields and his jumping, etc. His best form is at 3 miles as well, whereas Ginny's Destiny's is at about this trip. Imperial Saint does look a really nice type, but I touched on the fact that he's a novice coming in here. I would imagine that they'd be potentially getting a run round Cheltenham with a view to running him in that novice handicap chase at Cheltenham for the festival. And then Moon Durange did run well behind in the waterside last time, but I don't think the form is worth anything. So Ginny's Destiny would be a pretty strong selection in the 150 at Cheltenham.
I can tell. 4-1 shot, and as you say, another course and distance winner then in this contest as well. And yeah, he's become ever so consistent in these types of contests around this track, hasn't he? But fascinating race as ever. Right, we switch back to Doncaster now for the 205, the Grade 2 River Don Novices Hurdle. 5 rods and over 3 miles. This is always a war of attrition, Dave. It can really throw up a surprise winner as well over the years. So have you got a surprise winner in here? 3-1 the field.
Oh, I don't know if I have. The most recent surprise winner that I wish I had was the Cobb, because I backed him when he won the handicap.
That's the one everyone thinks of for this. About 33-1, didn't he win at?
That's it, yeah, maybe 25s. But that's Ben Paulin was obviously a trainer of that. Ben Paulin had another winner just before that couple of years, but the one I can remember is Barters Hill, who won this a while back. Now he runs a horse called Jigs Forge in here, but I think that horse is going to struggle for stamina. So just because the trainer's got a good record in the race doesn't mean every single year they're going to be able to peel one out. Western Knight leads the market. Now he was very good behind Jets Blue in the Albert Bartlett trial at Cheltenham. He's a big beast of a horse that obviously is going to look like a proper chaser for the future. Sometimes in these types of races, I don't like horses like that because you think I'd rather have a horse that's a very good hurdler to win a hurdle race than a horse that's probably going to shape into a really good chaser. But I don't think the Tizzards have ever sent a horse to this race, the River Don, and this is a horse they do hold in high regard. I think it looks like a nice target for him, so I think he does deserve to be favourite. There's a line of form with him and Machantu that runs through Excello. Machantu cozily beat that horse at Windsor last time out, but that horse is a dog, right? Do not get this mixed up. Just because Western Knight beat it by a head and the other ones won it cozy, you can't use that horse as a yardstick, in my opinion. So I think Western Knight does deserve to be favourite, but this is a race you've touched on. There's been some shocks in it in the past. I wouldn't necessarily have a great amount of confidence in betting that one. It's worth mentioning Yellow Car though, because Yellow Car wasn't too far behind at Cheltenham. The price discrepancy between those two, when one's at 9-4, one's at 16-1, looks far too big. But if it was for an opinion, I'd say Western Knight I'd hope would win it, but I wouldn't be betting in the race.
Yeah, it's really tricky race, isn't it? I mean, even just asking novice hurdlers to be going over 3 miles, generally speaking, if you don't put the graded tag on it, they're not the strongest of contests. But with the grade 2 tag, it just muddies that water somewhat. But yeah, not really a betting race as such then today, but Western Knight is the most likely winner then for him, Andrew. How are you playing it?
Yeah, I thought this was fascinating. I think Dave's been reading my notes because I had the same comment about Western Knight and Yellow Car. I'm 3-1 and 20-1 here. Yet they were second and third, only separated by 3 lengths at Cheltenham last time. We're much closer in the market. Western Knight was 9-2 shot, 12-1 for Yellow Car. Yellow Car jumped like a snooker table that day. So if he can get his hurdling together, which he might be able to do on the flatter track, I thought each way 20-1, if you can make a case for Western Knight, is it's a fair bet. And if you like that line of form, then the Western Knight Yellow Car forecast isn't a bad angle to play. I was interested to see Susan Corbett have a runner in this race, Sunset Hill, but like All the Glory we mentioned last week, she raced very wide when runner-up in that Southern race last time out and was on the better part of the track. So I thought she was flattered. Though I see she had been nibbled out a little bit in the betting from sort of 33s into 25s. The one I'm going to come down on the side of, though, is Gamesters Guy. You look at this one. He only had 5 runs in his career. He's arguably he's unlucky not to be unbeaten. He's won 3 of them. Second by a short head to Navajo Indy, form that's been well advertised in one of the others. And a third place, second time out at 16-1 in an entry bumper when they crawled along and the winner and second were on the front end throughout, whereas Gamesters Guy is the only one to sort of come from well off the pace to have any sort of chance, beating about 7 lengths. So I think Gamesters Guy is on the up. He's also entered at Cheltenham on Saturday in the 4:10, so I'm not sure which is first preference or not, whether it's this race or Cheltenham. But Gamesters Guy over Yellow Car for me.
Okay, Gamesters Guy. I mean, he's an 8-1 shot, as you say. Do just watch out for that double deck, I should say, as well. Then about him, I haven't gone on to the onto Racing Admin to see what his first preference is, so I may have to put that in the post edit or something like that. But interesting ways to play the River Don. Right, another grade 2 up next, but back at Cheltenham, number 225, the Cotswold Chase for the 5-year-olds and over 3 mile 1. Long Presse just shading the way at 11-8. From a Gentleman's Game coming over for Mouse Morris. Bigger prices about the remainder here. So, Andrew, we've got a good clash on our hands between these two heading the way.
Yeah, this is one for the Alan McAnally short price favourite system.
Oh, he's gone now. He's left the room.
All right.
He's gone. But it would be. I will definitely be telling him.
Did he just bring you a cup of coffee and go there? Is that all?
Not even that. No. No common courtesy.
Yeah, we all know Long Presse likes going left-handed. He ran an absolute blinder in the King George behind Banbridge and Ile Francais, finishing third, been about 12 lengths, despite jumping out to his left all the way round. Now, the market's usually such a good guide to this horse as well. He started as favourite 8 times in his career, 6 wins a second and an unsuited rider. And you look through the rest, you can make sort of small cases, for them. Stage Star's been nibbled. We know that he likes it here. But really, you're just sort of, Delta work. This is a prep before the cross country. Tommy Bow looks outclassed. A 10-year-old who's never won above Class 3 level. Chantry House won last time, but he's an 11-year-old now. And you look at it, you think, well, surely Long Presse shouldn't be odds against. So I think evens or bigger, Long Presse is a good bet.
Okay, like it a lot then. Like say, just anything odds against it is a good way to go with this. And but yeah, Gentleman's Game, he's a really likable horse all the same, Dave. But yeah, Long Presse is definitely setting the standard, and he is getting weight from Gentleman's Game as well. But is he the one to beat for you as well?
Yeah, he has to be, because I think even if they were running off the levels, he's a better horse than Gentleman's Game with respect, and he's getting £6. They competed against each other in the Gold Cup, didn't they? Where Long Presse was like running on fumes at the end, but was still 4th in a Gold Cup. Gentleman's Game was pulled up in that particular race. So I know this is a different type of contest, but I just mean the class between the two of them. It almost offends me that Gentleman's Games is close in the betting as he is to him, as a 9-4 shot. The problem is when you start going down the contenders that are in against them, you look at Chantry House, that's 11 now. Matty Sutcliffe put him in his column to win last time out, but Nicky Henderson didn't even think he had a chance of winning last time out.
No, it's kind of an accident, really, wasn't it?
Well, exactly. So obviously they've got to come here. I think he's won this race in the past as well, but I don't trust in him or anything. I don't know. And where he is in the market as well, he obviously wouldn't be anywhere near this sort of price if he hadn't a fluke to win last time in a race that maybe fell apart a little bit. So he's a bad price as well, I think. Delta Work, as Andrew's talked about, well, this is a prep for something else, clearly. Tommy Bowes, with respect to him as well, like 66-1 poke, he's got absolutely no chance of winning this. The one that definitely has got a chance, although Long Presse, because he's getting weight, is like a standout contender. And as Andrew says, I think even money's definitely more than fair about him. The ground obviously is sort of good at the moment. Presse in the past has been known as a bit of a mudlark, but he's fine on anything. But the one that I'm going to look for an in if I can, I'll try and bet him without the favourite because he's too big a price anyway, is Stage Star. Because this horse has had 16 runs over obstacles and every single one of them has been about the middle trip. Now, they've had some very good success, of course, with this horse at those distances. But he's always looked to me like a horse that when you do step him up in trip, especially when you've got a hurdler that you start at the middle trip, you're almost expecting them to go run at 3 miles and to do some stuff. The maddest thing about Stage Star is his mum won the Warfield Mares Hurdle at Ascot when it was a grade, or what still is a grade 2, but when it was over just under 3 miles, 2 miles 7.5. She was sent off favourite for the grade 1 3-mile hurdle at Aintree. She was even sent off 8-1 behind Big Bucks. So obviously stamina is there from the dam side. His dad as well, Fame and Glory. You've got horses like Home by the Lee that's been winning multiple Christmas hurdles. You've got the Nice Guy that won the Albert Bartlett and then won the 3-mile novice hurdle at Punchestown. Foxy Jacks that's won a cross country. Commander of Fleet as well has won over a distance, including winning a Coral Cup. I just think this horse has been crying out for something to change for him. His run in the Old Rome was decent behind Drama, but he was just handicapped to run, probably not to win the race. And I thought he did run well. The run after that, he was sort of pestered at the front, wasn't he, a bit with that Gemaran, but just didn't necessarily see it out. But I think that was enough of a bad run that they decided we might as well try this trip. They did it, of course, in the past with Froden, although Froden had won the December Gold Cup and he posted back-to-back 170s RPRs before he came and won this one. But there's far less stamina concerns with Stage Star than there are with Froden, which sounds a mad thing to say considering Froden went on and won a King George after and, of course, won this. But I just mean going into the race. If you looked at the two of them, you would say that Stage Star is much more of a certainty to stay than Froden would have been. And as I say, I think it's sort of loose in behind. Gentleman's Game putting up in the Gold Cup means he might not like it round here, but we know what Stage Star's like at Prestbury Park. So he's 9-1 in the outright market. If you bet him without the favourite, we can find that somewhere. You might even get 4-1 about him in the without, or maybe even 3-1 would be tempting. If not, I'll have to bet him each way. But I would definitely be betting a bit of money on Stage Star because he could be the one that improves for this trip.
Yeah, there's another betting angle at least for this race anyway. For all that Long Press is definitely the horse to beat, but Stage Star in there as well. If you can get a few different ways to play him in the Cotswold Chase, not the worst way to go at all. Right, we switch back to Doncaster now for the 240, the Yorkshire Rose Mares Hurdle. Another grade 2 contest on the billing, 4-year odds and over 3 miles. So again, we're going a bit of a trip for this one. Dave, who do you like?
There's a few in here that I like, to be fair. It's a nice looking race for the Mares division because I'm very critical of it at the best of times, but this is a nice competitive race. You've got a couple of 140s horses that are head in the market in Katira and Jatara. Jatara, I think, has got first time cheap pieces on. Couple of runs back, they were saying that she was showing signs of being in season. All the things you love to see in a ladies race, right? Why Not last time was absolutely smashed course and distance listed race, wasn't it? When Alice Stevens was riding, I can't remember what price she was when they first opened, but I'm sure it was double figures. If not.
Yeah, 15-2 with the rule 4 because I'll go after timing here because I put her up as the bet in the race.
Well, exactly, and she went off short, and she absolutely hacked up. She wasn't stopping at the line either. So while this is obviously I don't want to say a better race. While she's going against horses probably of maybe a better caliber than last time, she definitely stays. Whereas Katira's run 3 times at 3 miles, twice, well, all 3 times been beaten. Twice of those were when she was odds on. I know she's come 5th in a long walk hurdle, but meh. Jatara won at 2 miles 7, but was just clinging on. I fancied this horse for a Mares Novice hurdle years back, and obviously that was never the case. But I don't definitely believe that she'll stay this trip as strongly as Why Not did last time out. And then, of course, there's Della that was supposed to run Sandown's meeting that got cancelled. Part of my angle with that was that it was a quick turnaround, and I thought they ran in that handicap over Christmas to set her up for that race there. It's still within like 30 days, isn't it, from the wind up on that race? So, like, I still think she could be fresh enough. We know that horse does stay as well. On the run-in with her in Katira a couple of spins back in a listed mares race, you say that she's got no chance of reversing the form. But at this trip, I think she can. My biggest conundrum with all of this, though, when I was going around to try and work out who I'd want to put a bet on is, both Why Not and Della Lunga would be the ones I'd want to oppose the front 2 with. I'm terrified, though, that they might both have the same running style and they might cut each other's throats off the front. So as it stands at the moment, I want to take on Katira and Jatara, but I don't know if I'm going to do it with Why Not or Della Lunga. For the purpose of this show, I'll stick with Della Lunga because she's 9-1 at the time of recording, and if there was any support for her, I think that would be significant. But yeah, I think the front 2, Katira and Jatara, as much as they are both very nice horses, I think we've got to take them on.
Yeah, taking those two on at the head of the market. Why not? Is it 7-2 Della Casa, as they've just said there, at 9-1 though. And so for the purposes of this video, a 9-1 shot. We like that quite a lot then, Dave. Andrew, which of these mares took your eye?
I'm very much with Dave that I'm going to take on the front two. Katira's it's a funny old story. She's had 3 goes at 3 miles. She's lost them all. Twice she was beaten odds on. You know, a couple of times she's been noted as staying on at the business end, but I'd still like to have seen her win at this trip before I'm taking odds of 13-8. Chitara in the first time cheap pieces. Now, a little bit worried that she'll be going off the boil now. 6 of her last 7 wins have come in the October to December period. She tends not to do a great deal after Christmas. I think she won a Fairy House Maiden Hurdle, and that was about it. Now, why not say what I put up last time based on that 4th at Cheltenham when the winner, the 2nd, 3rd all came from well off the pace. She was better than the front runners. Like Dave said, she might get taken on for the lead. And I'm not totally keen on David Bass taking over in the saddle, really, given how well Alan Stevens has been riding. I mean, David Bass is not riding well at the moment. You make a fortune laying all his mounts recently. Della Lunga has won left-handed for her old yard at Leopardstown, but jumped out to her right all the way around. Since then, her 3 wins have all come right-handed. So she was due to run at Ludlow at Kempton. Was it Kempton the other week when that was abandoned? And I remember discussing her. So I think that this is an afterthought based. And if they could choose, they'd go right-handed. Where the Sultan hasn't won away from Sedgefield since September 2020 and been sort of, winning Class 4 handicaps. And the one I like is Pinot Rouge, who won a listed mares novice here a couple of years ago, when after time and again, I put her up in my column. She's like 33s and 20s, and it was based on the speed figures she clocked when running well, placed on a only beaten narrowly at Newcastle on a hurdles debut the time before. Now she's gone over fences and jumped like a hairy pig in all of them. Last time out, back over hurdles at Ayr, she ran much better. Now she was up with the pace that day. She raced round the inside in the swamp, and the winner and the second both came from midfield or further back. O'Toole, the winner, was wide all the way round. And I think you can upgrade that performance. So back at Doncaster, small field, although she's up in grade after being beaten in a handicap last time out, I think she's going to go well at a big price. Pinot Rouge for me.
33-1, the outsider of the field, and of course, and distance winning theme continues as well with another Grade 2 contest. Right, another Grade 2 contest, but fascinating. Well, I say fascinating. Is it really? The international hurdle at Cheltenham at 3 o'clock. Unfortunately, we're not getting the clash we were hoping for with Lossiemouth coming over for round 2 between her and Constitution Hill. Hence why he is a 1-4 shot. Alan McAnally's nat of the day. Andrew, is he going to be justified in that?
Yeah, go each way though.
Just to be safe.
Absolutely. Yeah, funny old race. I mean, obviously, Constitution Hill, if in the same sort of form as last time out, will win this doing handsprings. The one I want to take on in the without market is Brentford Hope, the 2nd favourite. I've got him down as a spring horse. He's had 6 goes in March and April, 4 wins, a couple of seconds. I thought he was being, laid out for something like the County Hurdle, or certainly something at Cheltenham. I can see Brentford Hope going well at Cheltenham, Aintree. I don't want to back him for this in the first time headgear. And so what's going to finish second if Brentford Hope doesn't? Although you might laugh, Spirits Bay has got an awful lot to do at the weights. He's been running pretty well. Twiston Davis has got his string in good form. I mean, they paid 600 odd quid to enter, but they get over £3,000 for finishing 5th. So it's a good bit of business, provided he doesn't fall over. And of course, if he can finish, higher than 5th, they're going to be rewarded with a nice return. So I mean, this one ran respectively at Haydock last time. I was a bit sort of disappointed that they went from the front that day because he caught the eye behind Nurabad from off the pace the time before, finishing 5th, and probably the one who sort of tried to chase down the all the way winner earlier than the rest. So possibly did a bit too much in a short space of time that day. He likes stiff tracks. Got a couple of wins at Exeter. I thought he could go well. At a price was about 100 to 1 or something like that. So I'll be back in Spirits Bay each way and doing him without the favourite.
100 to 1, different ways to play this race, so not taking into consideration really Constitution Hill, or are taking him into consideration all the same. But like I say, good bit of business, provided he gets around them for the fee to enter him into this, but also then what you can pick up, because most of the rest of, what rest of the competition is there really to scare off for Constitution Hill bar Lossiemouth? But Hence why he is a 1-4 shot in here and 20-1 bar about the remainder, Dave.
I mean, there's 1 to 10, Kate's the problem now. He's been shortened ever since the decks. He's like, obviously deserves to be that sort of price. But like Andrew says, 600 quid to enter a horse, you can get 5 to 1 basically if you just jump round and get it. So that's better than back in Constitution Hill. Like, he obviously wins this. There's nothing else to say other than some sort of misfortune that costs it. We don't want any of that stuff to happen. The quick turnaround for Brentford Hope and the cheap pieces that are going on screams of the fact that you get the chance to have some racecourse experience behind a good horse in some sort of headgear, spin round Cheltenham, etc., and you get to make money in doing so. So that looks very experimental to me. Phil Dudery's in the past beat Sharjah over hurdles, 2 miles, Tipperary grade 3. I can't remember what the race was, but he's also run about sort of 10 lengths behind Sharjah as well. So Phil Dudery would be the one that would be interesting to maybe run second to Constitution Hill, but I'm not interested in betting in every single race. I'm happy just to sit back, watch Constitution Hill, absolutely eat the ground up. Hopefully we see a course record or something mad like that, like he did in the Fighting Fifth.
Wouldn't that be unbelievable then? Yeah, hoping just to see a fantastic showing again from him. And at least we're getting to see him again as well, which is something we can't really take for granted with Constitution Hill either, but hoping he can win the international hurdle. Right, back to Doncaster now for the 3:15, the Great Yorkshire Handicap Chase, Premier Handicap, 5-year-olds and over 3 miles, 7 to 1 the field in this one, Dave. So loads of runners to go at, wide open betting heats. At least we've got something to go at here.
Oh yeah, there is something to go. It's one of my teddy bear picnic type races, though. All the old favourites are back out, aren't they? And
all the old bros.
It's hard. It's hard to pull a few of them like apart. I think really forward plan. As much as he's up in the weights from being I think it was a nose or a head second to Annual Invictus this last year, his RPRs that he's performed that last time out are in line with his official rating now, and obviously he loves it here. So he's probably more solid at the front of the market than the Changing Man is. But I will say about the Changing Man, for all that he could be a little bit roguey, I was maybe a little bit harsh on him the time before when he got picked up by Frayed Bamboo, who incidentally in this race is only £1 worse off now, but is 12 to 1 versus the Changing Man's 5 to 1. But I really thought that run last time against Victorino, we put up Victorino, me and Andrew fancied him that day, and he just got there on the line, but it didn't look like the Changing Man was throwing the towel in or giving up. So I think that was a pretty good performance. I still think he's a well-handicapped horse, and they said at the start of the season they will win a big stay-in handicap chase with this horse. I think he's got a genuine favourites chance in it, and the fact that he does run so well and consistently well, I know his jumping can be a little bit wayward at times, but I feel like 5 to 1 each way is almost a freebie on him because he'll win a race at some point. One at a bigger price that I thought was worth mentioning is Famous Bridge, because he was sent off 13 to 2 joint favourite for this last year. Him and I think it was Richmond Lake in the same owner silks both made a mistake at the third. You couldn't really see Famous Bridges as much as Richmond Lake's on the inside, but he proper just went through the fence, and that was pretty much race over for him. He was well beaten in the novice chase here as well a couple of years in the past, so it may just be that Doncaster's not his thing. But I put him up last time when he ran at Haydock. He came third that day, was relatively well beaten, about 15 lengths I think, but still ran okay. But I was concerned a little bit last time that he hadn't had his 2 runs of the season to then go and perform from his third run in. So I just thought him at 16 to 1 looked very interesting. So I'll definitely be playing the Changing Man as a scummy little each way. I know it's the favourite, but I think he's got a favourites chance, and we get the free concession as far as I'm concerned with the 5 places. But I will definitely be looking at Famous Bridge. I'll see what he does in the market, although that wouldn't really give us too many clues. But he's on the radar because 16 to 1 just looks too big about him.
In first time cheap pieces being fitted as well, so a couple of ways to play this. You are allowed a couple of ways to play this, all we're saying, considering it's 7 to 1 the field, and I'd say just a solid way to play the current favourite, but at 7 to 1, fair dues. The Changing Man each way also for Dave. Andrew, you're allowed 2 darts as well.
Yeah, I'll refer you to the answer I gave a year ago, which is putting up forward plan each way and Earn River as well. So forward plan, good old boy when he's had a run. He's got in handicap company after his seasonal debut. He's never finished out the first 3, I don't think. So he's a fairly sort of safe each way play here, and maybe even you're having a play spot banker him in the play spot, because he only got to finish in the first 4, and it's he always has done basically. So the other ones, they Earn River. He was 5th in this race last year, only beaten 6 and a bit lengths. He's £6 lower. And he unseated in the first time blinkers a couple of runs back. They gave him a confidence booster over hurdles last time. He was a bit fresh and keen, and He only got beaten 4 lengths in fourth behind Super Survivor, who's just won at Huntingdon a few minutes ago. So back over fences, as long as he doesn't too much too soon. I thought Ernie River at 25 to 1 was a fair each way saver in addition to forward plan.
The course and distance winning theme continues. He's now a 10-year-old on River, but he does feel as though he's been around forever, doesn't he? 25 to 1 in this one for that nice way to play what is a wide open Premier handicap chase. Right, the final scheduled televised race then for us comes from Cheltenham in the 3:35, the Grade 2 Cleve Hurdle, 5-year-olds and over 3 miles. Crambo is back for more. Strong leader, bidding to bounce back from his disappointment last time out. Second favourite at 5 to 2. So staying hurdlers to the 4, Andrew. Whose turn is it to win?
Not Crambo's. I think Ascot's his track. I'm quite happy to take him on here at a short price. And Strong Leader's interesting in the fact that he's had a wind operation, but again, he's been to Cheltenham 4 times across both tracks, and he's lost all 4. So, you know, I know he ran in this last year and wasn't beaten far, but he wasn't beaten far by the now retired Noble Yates or the now retired Paisley Park. So I don't think it was a particularly strong renewal. And yeah, I was trying to make cases for for others at big prices, but I came down the side of with the dead 8 backing Gal Road each way, or backing him to finish exactly second, which is something certain bookmakers offer, like Sky Bet and Coral, so that they'll be offering, I don't know, sort of 4 to 1 him to finish second, something like that, as he has done on his last 4 starts now, only just losing out behind a lucky place here last time out. Rallied well when headed that day, and so that was on soft ground over the extended 2 mile 4 here. Worth another try back at 3 miles. Seems to stay this far. So yeah, I think Gal Road's going to run it. You can back in place only each way if all 8 go, or just to finish exactly second. I think might be the angle. Do them all. Do them all.
Do every single one of the angles. Yeah, we've just chucked a whole load of angles at you there, but Gal Road is ticking every single one of those boxes for those angles. 5 to 1 shot in this one after that string of second place finishes to his name in his last 4 starts as well. But it is tricky because there is question marks, as Andrew was saying there, over every single one of these.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of these where I almost want to applaud the bookmakers, because I think they priced this one pretty much spot on to start with. Andrew's dead right with Gal Road. The good little 4 to 1 concession about him, when I'm talking about horses like the Changing Man, or it doesn't have to be my advice, it's ones that you like where you see the little juicy each way ones, can always stick a couple of them into doubles, because even if just the place part comes up, it can pay okay. But again, I think the bookmakers have got him like just about right. There's no juice in doing it if he comes second or third if you bet him each way. Like Andrew says, potentially betting him without or to come exactly second is maybe a way to do it. Strong Leader I did fancy to win the long walk at Ascot, and then in hindsight after, when Crambo won it at a reasonable price considering he's so good first time up, felt like a bit of a fool for not having the scummy each way on him. But that's the thing with Crambo, right? He's been very good first time up. He was like well beaten in a stayers hurdling, although they said they found issues with him over the summer, but that was only a 150s RPR. When Strong Leader was third in this race last year, that was a 150 RPR. And Gal Road has run 145 his last 3 starts, and he gets £6 for them. So there isn't really much between those front 3 in the betting. But I don't know if I can trust Crambo to do it again. I think I've lost a bit of faith in Strong Leader now having the wind off, because he was so bad at Ascot, and they're clearly eyeing up Aintree again, which is worth a hell of a lot more money. This could just be like a stepping stone to go in for that. And then for all that, like Gal Road, you can make a case for it. He's just not juicy enough a price to be wanting to get stuck into. I think if I had like a free bet or something like that on a betting account, I'd be tempted just to take a swing at Garlaw, because it's been a long time since he's been hurdling. I think he only ever had 3 spins over hurdles, but on like the pick of his chase form, he's put in RPRs higher than any of these have ever achieved in the past. So if there's going to be a fly in the ointment, like when Noble Yates, like a Grand National winner, came and won a Cleve Hurdle, Garlaw could be that at 14 to 1. But like I said, I wouldn't want to risk any real money on it. I'd want a free bet or something on it.
You don't
Yeah,
want
fair
much,
enough.
do you?
Oh no, Ascony may receive, probably not, but may. 20 to 1 I've got for a top price about Garlaw, but you said about 14s there for him returning to hurdles. Yeah, it's mad. He only had 3 starts over hurdles, the winner of 1 of those. So interesting angle to throw into the staying hurdle mix there with Garlaw. Right, Dave, I'll go back to you, please. Anything from anywhere else?
No, I have looked at a couple of other ones, but no bets to advise, so I'll shut up.
No problem at all. Andrew.
A couple of interesting ones. The last race at Cheltenham, Potter's, what you call it. for Twiston Davis.
Yeah.
But even money's probably a fair price. Could see him going off odds on. And Rock My Way, I thought was a fascinating recruit to the Joe Tizard stable in the 12.55 at Doncaster.
Okay, a couple of ones then to go. Potter's Charm, that is, and like you say, even money in the 4.10. Right, Andrew, back to you, please, for your nap of this weekend.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that.
No, you did not.
I'll go for Pinot Rouge in the mares listed at Donny.
Nice price to boot as well there. Dave, match that.
Well, I do like Andrew's one, to be fair. Way too big a price. I'll give another winner, though. We'll go back to back this week. Ginny's Destiny. I'm confident we'll get back to win ways in the 150.
I would have, if I was a betting person, lol, then I would have gone Ginny's Destiny for your nap as well. So thank you, lads, very much for all of your hard work. Thank you for making do then with my current settings, sounds, surrounds, Alan McAnally, the whole lot then that I've chucked at you today. But lads, appreciate it as ever. Thank you so much for watching this as well. But from myself, the lads, and of course from Villa Park under the lights, we'll catch up with you again next week. Up the Villa.